Hey, good afternoon, folks. So, one subject, short video. This is really more of a reminder for people not to get caught up in the moment. So many of my friends do this. They get caught up in that, ooh, it's shiny. Squirrel! Squirrel! Right? You've seen that one? Squirrel! They get caught up in that. So, anything new becomes the focus. That's what they get locked in on. That's not fucking good. There was one today that I saw. It was coming out of LA. Is it LA? I want to say it was LA and not California proper, although it might have been Newsom, because Newsom's a fucking idiot. But I think it was city of LA. And they decided that they were going to divert funds from fire, law enforcement, necessary use of tax dollars, let's put it that way. They were going to funnel the monies from these departments into the disenfranchised communities that had suffered through this protest, weenie roast, barn fire, s'mores, hippy-dippy love fest, whatever you want to call it, when people burn down their own neighborhoods, or even better, when insurgent forces come in and lead the low IQ people into burning down their own establishments and houses and whatnot. You've met me. I told you guys last week at least Antifa is not the kid down the block with the fucking skateboard. Now, he might be a member, but actual real Antifa is a mobilized force against us. They hate this country. I got dinged on Facebook, which I'm never fucking on. I did that allegory for Dawn because I got a request, and so she's one of these people that's squirrel. You know, she's not dumb. She's just, it's like the people who are starting to turn around and become aware and starting to notice. Well, if you're one of the tinfoil hat conspiracy theory crazy people like me, it's our job to wake them the fuck up and say, look, this wasn't a conspiracy theory. It didn't jibe with your worldview, but that doesn't mean it was wrong. There's the old T-shirt that said, even paranoids have enemies. Here's what it is. Anyway, I got a strike on Facebook because I hung out. A meme, because if you've gone to any of my pages like Gab or Minds, where I usually am, I hang memes all the time. Some of them are just absolutely so bad I can't even do that. I have to give them to other people to hang because I'm not willing to get caught doing it. But there's some good ones. It all depends how. If you have a sense of humor, you can appreciate dark humor. Those kind. And if you're one of those people who has no sense of humor but think you have a sense of humor, your head would explode looking at some of these really good ones. Neither here nor there. I got a strike on Facebook because I got fact-checked by PolitiFact because it was George Soros funding Antifa. George Soros does not fund protesters. Really? Really? Go look online and see the list of socialist causes and democratic causes and anti-American causes funded by George Soros. Allegedly. Take it for what it's fucking worth. Anyway, when I heard in California that they were going to divert the funds from essential services, police, fire, EMS, whatever, to the affected communities, it brought me back to what I said 2 weeks ago. I said, here's the game plan. Pay attention. 3 weeks or a month ago, I got one of the feeds, and it was concerning the big mega hive Democrat-run shitholes. Well, they're unable to meet their financial obligations, specifically their unsecured debt for pensions and whatnot. And a lot of these places, like California and New York, are two great examples. You can't afford to live in the city that you police. If you work in Manhattan, you are not living in Manhattan on a policeman's salary. I'm sorry, it does not fucking happen. It just doesn't. Real estate's too expensive. That doesn't mean it's that much cheaper outside of Manhattan. So if you want to live in a decent neighborhood in Brooklyn, you're still not talking cheap. And then you have to account for taxes. Queens, the Bronx, Staten Island. If you can get Staten Island, you're used to be okay. I have no idea anymore. I've been gone a long time. But to get these people to take these jobs, they have to offer them incentives. And to get them to stay on the job after they see how shitty the job is, they have to pump those incentives. And what happens is politicians come in and they say, if you elect me, I promise we're going to, and they lead a laundry list down the fucking stairs and out the door and into the street, and the sheep fucking just We're electing lawyers, not economists, just so you people understand. Jefferson was right. Jefferson said, and it was passed as the 13th Amendment. There were 2 copies that popped up in like Ohio and Iowa or something, which I'm more than sure have been shredded since they were found. No lawyer shall serve in any branch of the federal government other than judicial. It's passed. You know what it was papered over with was the 13th Amendment. Go look that one up and then you'll understand why you won't be able to change it. But the original was never repealed. It's still on the books. If you could find a copy of it on the books, you could enforce it today. You would solve 90% of the fucking problems in this country. Jefferson, and I am not a big fan of Jefferson, even though the professor feels kinship with him because he was a Virginian. I still think Jefferson was an asshat. I'm not saying he wasn't smart. The best thing he ever did, though, and I will give him props for this, is he moved the seat of power from New York City to Washington, D.C. Thank God for that, because New York's a big enough shithole. If it was where the White House was, it would look like something out of World War Z. It's bad enough now. Turn it into what D.C. is. Not a good idea. Politicians make promises that they know they cannot keep. They do not care. They are in it for one reason and one reason only. I want the job and the power that comes with it, not to mention the cushy retirement plan. And so they lie and they make promises. They blow smoke up the voters' asses like there is no tomorrow. Then the bill comes due. Well, when the bill comes due, the schmuck's already out of office. So you kick it down the road a little bit until you're out of office, and the next schmuck who comes in has to deal with it. That's how the game goes. It's the same thing in the fucking federal government. There is no fucking difference going on here whatsoever. They lie. They pass bills they know that they cannot enforce and pay for. They make promises that they have zero intent of keeping, and they know they'll never be held accountable. You do realize lying is fraud, right? Difference is, once they get in office, they say, well, I tried, but those evil, pick whichever one of the moronic parties you don't like, those evil people wouldn't let me, and they don't like you, and that's why you need to re-elect me and my cousin. And together, we will steal more money out of your pockets and accomplish even less, but you'll never fucking notice, because by the time you do, I'll be out and gone and retired. It's the way it's been for decades, folks. I mean, people are starting to wake up now, and I have no idea whether or not it's too late, but it's getting pretty goddamn close. To circle back, because you know I am tangentially attached to the fucking universe, because the hamster wheel's spinning way too fast. Anyway, to get back to where this comes from. New York, LA, San Francisco, San Diego, Chicago, Detroit. These are big cities. These are big cities with huge unfunded liabilities hanging out there in the breeze. And the Democrats said, ooh, you know what we should do? I want to say it was the third pandemic plan. Pelosi tried to sneak this up. Let's have the federal government bail us out for all these unfunded liabilities, and then we could start the cycle all over again. And boy, we look good. They'll never elect another, the opposing party, politician. Guess what, folks? That's where we're at. Remember, George Floyd the landlord, whatever his fucking name is, he's dead now. But before he died, where were we? Well, COVID died. And then Obamagate started creeping up. But you haven't heard Obamagate lately, right? You have if you listen to me. General Flynn's completely exonerated. All the charges against him were made up. You don't hear that anymore, right? Oh, no, George Flynn. The riots. Protests. See how it goes? They're treating you like you're a fucking idiot and you're not stupid. You might be preoccupied, you might be distracted. They have a fucking game plan. Remember, they have study after study after study on exactly how to manipulate people who aren't paying attention. All you have to do is pay attention. Do you know why it's called pay attention? Because then people think it's going to cost them something and they're weary. Not weary, but wary. They're wary and they're like, oh, paying attention doesn't cost you fucking anything. You really only have one commodity in your life. One. That's irreplaceable. And you know what that commodity is? Time. Everything else means nothing because you have literally X amount of time. And when it's done, you don't get any more. You don't get a reset. You don't get an extra player. When your time is done, your time is done. And we have gotten to the point now where we're glued to our phones, we're glued to our laptops, we're glued to the idiot box, we're glued to we focus on everything but what's important. The fact that we're here now. Yesterday I was talking to nurse friend of mine who works oncology. I don't want to put her name up because A, I don't know if she'll see this, and B, I don't know if she wants to be associated with Senor Crazy Pants. We're talking. She's a sweetheart. I love her. She's a great girl. Do you know what oncology nurses and hospice hear more often than anything else? I'm sure you do. It's a fucking ancient trope. It's been around as long as I can remember. But you know what it is? No one lays on their deathbed and says, I wish I had worked one more day. Okay? Everybody says the same thing. I really wish I would have focused on what was important, which was my family, taking the trip, or doing this for whoever, or apologizing for being a dick, or whatever. Nobody ever regrets missing work. Nobody ever regrets the unimportant shit that we have been programmed to believe is important. Shit's not important. Yes, you do need money because you have to pay bills, because bills are what keeps the lights on and the roof over your head. Don't get me started on why you have to pay the government for a piece of property that you own now. Why do I have to pay property taxes? Well, we need that for the sewers and the roads and the streets. Then why am I paying state taxes? Well, we need that for the schools and the fire department. No. And don't get me started on city tax and sales tax. taxation is theft. It's not a fucking lie. They are literally taking the money out of your pocket to go buy the huge giant alien horse dildo to fuck you in the ass with. And they're not even nice enough to spend some of the money they stole from you on lube because they don't care. Okay? So, what did I say? Short? 15 fucking minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes is fucking short for me when I get on a tangent. Anyway, pay attention, folks. The shoe is about to drop, and that shoe is going to be, you are going to get stuck with the bill. It was $16,000 per taxpayer to issue that same taxpayer $1,200 per person plus $500 per child. That's how much waste was involved in giving you back your money. Remember, if Trump said we're going to take a tax holiday and working people do not have to pay taxes, Democrats' heads would explode because it would still completely bypass the majority of their base. And remember, no tax dollars, no money to steal. All right, folks. That's it. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up, a wake up. I want you to stop focusing on peaceful protests that involve bricks, frozen water bottles, bottles full of piss, Molotov cocktails. You can stop paying attention to that now. Back to paying attention to what's really important, what's going on behind the scenes that no one is fucking telling you, except for crazy people like me. Thank you for swinging by. I appreciate it. PV, be safe out there, brother. Don't do anything stupid, okay? Don't get caught by the idiots so that you're forced to do something regrettable. Stupid is the wrong word, regrettable. Keep your six clear and safe, okay, brother? I will catch you guys later on. Thank you for popping in. Be safe. Sleep light. Sleep tight. Bed bugs by. Adios.